Yo, 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 yo. This is the next episode. The next episode of Button Mashers. We got a special guest today, guys. Hold on. Oh, yeah. It looks like beer. It's not. It's coffee. Little the child on there. Today's exciting. It'll be our first ever guest. A friend of mine who I've known for quite a long time. We started out as people who worked together, didn't really get along too well. We were in really weird places in life, and then found out that we both were creators. He's a creator. He does a bunch of really cool videos online. It's really interesting too, because when he started, he was way past me. He was doing all these crazy things, and I looked to him for a lot of information, a lot of stuff, and just like my inspiration when it comes to like doing things and just bouncing ideas off of him. And now we're just bounce ideas off of each other and are able to do creative things online. And he's encouraged me to really take risks and move forward and maintain creativity, because he's been a full-time creator for a long time now. And it's been really cool. So today I'm going to bring my buddy on, my good friend, my delightful, wonderful, exciting, great, wonderful Floridian. I don't know if that's how you call people in Florida, Floridians. All right, Cody, go ahead. Say hi to the people.
What is up, console gamers and button mashers? Is that the correct terminology?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
We're button smashers?
No, button mashers and thumbstick rashers. Yeah. Yeah, so my friend here, Cody, this is just a conversation. We're trying to figure it out. As you can see, there's so many things going on right now. He's holding a shotgun mic, not even a handheld.
Yeah, so I'm just using the best equipment I have at my at-home office right now.
Yeah.
I am going to be looking up and down, basically, because I have my laptop set up in front. We're FaceTiming. We're not even on Discord. He chewed my ear off about that, too. And then I got my camera set up behind it. So I'm going to try to address you guys, but I'm also going to be looking at JD, so it could get a little weird.
It's awesome. And you have this special, insane, limited edition play sweatshirt. That is the Ronin slashed samurai edition, also known as didn't wash it inside out edition.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a beating, but guess what? JD was so awesome. He paid me double what I spent on it. So there you guys go.
Just to keep wearing it. No, it looks good. Is that the black one?
Yeah, it's the black one. I like it.
Dang,
it's
dude.
a really comfortable hoodie. I was actually blown away.
Yeah, I was too. I got this one, and this is the blue one just because I wasn't paying attention when I ordered my samples. And so I ordered blue. Turns out blue is one of my favorite colors, I guess now. But no, like, I was super apprehensive because I was like, dude, merch, like, dropship merch often sucks. Like, I don't know if you've purchased dropship merch before.
This is the first for me, honestly. Okay. And I was in need of a new hoodie. We're about to get the month of winter in Florida where it actually gets to be hoodie weather. So I was like, I want to rock some kind of hoodie for this month.
Yeah. Well, I've had drop ship merch before. It often fits weird. The cut's awful. It's not comfortable. I tried a different company. It was crap, dude. And so when I got this, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this actually is good stuff. So I'm stoked. I guess that's the merch drop. If you want to get merch, you'll see it underneath this video. I also have links. Right now, we just have these play hoodies. I have ideas for other stuff.
Plug.
There's just too many things in the fire right now. Too many irons in the fire trying to make things happen. So we're just gonna stick with the play. It says play, and then in the bottom, a little HG for happy gaming. But yeah, dude. Well, I wanted to have you on because I wanted a guest. You're a good friend of mine. You're someone who we create together, and though this is a video game podcast, I often talk about a lot of other things. We've talked about self-confidence, self-worth. And what I first want to actually just get into is like, so you're a creator. Like, when we met, we were both working at the Apple store. We were Apple employees. And then you were dabbling in being creative, and then you decided to go full-time creative. Bring us on that journey.
Okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with working at Apple. It was a great company, and it started me on this journey. We had these like public classes where they would teach people like the iMovie program and stuff like that for video editing. And I was talking to one of the creatives, and then all of a sudden I got in my head that I could make a movie in iMovie with like no experience. And I looked up what the best camera was at the time, and it was a newly announced GH5. So I pre-ordered that, sunk like $3,000 into this camera, bought stupidly cheap lenses, and didn't know what I was doing. I was shooting the wrong frame rates. I was afraid to use that camera when I got it because no matter what I did, it just looked horrible.
Yeah.
So for the first month of me having it, I didn't even pull out the camera. I was using my phone to try and create stuff, and I booked a wedding with that camera, and I ended up using my phone on a gimbal.
That's awesome, dude.
That was probably the lowest point of my career. I've had many low points, but at a certain point, I learned that you gotta fail. You gotta accept that you have to start from somewhere, and you just gotta build up from there. And now I've gotten to work with brands like Ferrari. I've gotten to work with some huge YouTubers all across the platform and stuff. And I've gotten to play with some pretty cool stuff because the brands will send me it, and I've just gotten a lot of great experiences from this journey. So I'm grateful to that and grateful to my failures at the start.
Yeah, I heard a really cool with the creator group I'm a part of. The guy who like runs a lot of the seminars and runs a lot of the teaching things, he says you either crush it or you learn. Those are the only two options. And I love that because, a lot of times, or whenever he talks about failures, he's like, you can fail, but as long as you're failing forward, it really doesn't matter. And like a lot of the times when it comes to taking creative chances or stuff like that, it's just like, it's sketch, dude. It's super scary to make these decisions. I mean, I made the decision to leave a corporate very, very, you and I both know that Apple is the golden handcuffs, baby. I mean, we got insurance, stock options, 401k.
You are locked in. It is
free stuff.
It is the pinnacle of retail. It is the pinnacle of retail. Like boutique. You have boutique this retail. Prestige feeling working as a genius, but you work at a mall. Like you need to remind yourself and customers you work at a mall.
Dude, I remember when I first started working at Apple, I'd like show up to work. You show up to work. The mall's not really open yet. None of the stores are open, and you're showing up with everyone else that works at the mall. And like you're getting on the tram, and going from the super far away parking lot all the way to work. And I remember having this sense when I first started, this sense of prestige, like you said. Like I'm like, it doesn't matter. I do work at a mall, but you know what? I work at the Apple store. Like I felt so cool, and I'm not.
I'm a genius.
I'm a genius. I will say this, like. To take any job at a mall, I think the Apple, my experience there was, bittersweet, right? There are elements of it that I'm working for someone, and no matter which way you slice it, it can be the nicest, coolest job. You're still working for someone. But like you remove that aspect, it was a dope job. Like,
oh yeah,
we hung out. You and I didn't hang out, but like we as a whole hung out, and like just like. People would play video games in the break room. Like it's just because Apple, has
it was a
bunch
community.
Of weird. Yeah, and it's weird. Like everyone who works there is really, really weird. Like no one's normal. Yep. And that there was elements of that that's pretty cool. But like anyway, all that to say, when the whole world shut down, like I learned really quickly that even in the corporate endeavor, it's still risky. That was Apple's a safe job. We're all told you work for the big boys. You'll be safe. When it all hits the fan, at least you have that job. And we realized really quickly, it's like even they aren't invincible. And I heard this. I've talked about it before, but I heard this commencement speech by Jim Carrey where he's telling a story about his father. And his father basically did the safe option his whole life, and he ended up losing it all in the end. And even the safe option was risky. And his point at this commencement speech is like, just know that even the safe spot can fail you. So why not take a risk and go for your dreams? And
there's
that's
definitely
pretty much what
a
happened.
Glass ceiling in any job that you do. Too.
Oh yeah.
So like recognizing that like if you want to live your best life, you have to live your life like nobody else. That means taking risks. That means pursuing passions, failing, and just what do you do when you fail? you get
Yeah.
back up.
That's
Like
right.
Apple, it was a really good, safe job, but I saw that glass ceiling and I knew I wanted to take a risk and pursue creative endeavors. And I'm thankful for that job because they taught us how to adapt. Like,
Dude, oh my God.
it-
There's elements of that job that like I will always I don't want to credit them because I'm that kind of guy, but like
but
real talk,
like,
they yeah, I live life a little better because of them.
oh yeah, if you don't know, let's figure it out together. That was
Yeah.
like the most empowering thing. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and that
Yeah.
resonated with me. Like,
Yeah.
everybody expects that if you're in this position, if you're a YouTube creator with a big channel, that you just got it all figured out, right? No, you don't know what you don't know, and you're gonna be figuring it out. But what matters is that you take the time to figure it out.
Dude, totally. I've had people ask me questions because I'm the YouTube guy. I'm the console. Someone asked me the other day. They asked me such a cryptic. I understood it because I know what they're saying, but the question was along the lines of like, what is the new FPS of the re-released? No, of the reskin GTA remaster on XBSX. And I was like, you want me to tell you what the new frame rate is for a game that hasn't come out yet? Are you kidding me?
You know, you might want to call your engineer friends.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't know what the new frame rate is. One, two, I don't play Grand Theft Auto games because that type of violence isn't really my cup of coffee. And
Yeah.
three, like, who knows that? Like, it was so weird, but you're so right. Like, they, I think, did a really good job once, you know, you either make it or you don't there. We both there for multiple years. You worked there longer than I did. And they do a really good job at like humbling people and teaching humility. Like that phrase, I don't know, let's find out. Like that is such a huge thing. And what, like, there's so much, it's so much deeper than that. It's accepting the fact that you don't know everything, but also accepting the fact that you can ask the person you asked to join you on a journey to figure something out with you. And it's just like,
Yep.
it's a really, really great thing. And I think that, you know, in this work that we do, this creative work where we become the expert only because we're willing to put ourselves out there. You have a channel that, you know, you showcase a lot of stuff at Disney World, and you do a lot of different things there. And you have another channel you work on where you showcase adventure stuff and you teach people how to use a camera. And because you're willing to say those words out loud, people are like, oh, this guy must know every in and out of a camera.
God,
but there's
yeah.
stuff that you don't know. Like,
Oh,
there's-
yeah.
yeah.
That sense of community too, like, I don't know, let's find out together too, is a very powerful thing, because when it comes to YouTube, you're building a community, right? Like,
Yeah.
of like-minded individuals, and having that power of, like, somebody asks you that question, you'd be like, you know, I don't know, but let's find out together. Maybe make a video on it.
Exactly, dude. Discovery is such a beautiful thing too. Like, I mean, if we want to talk about YouTube for a second, like, discovery is probably one of the biggest things. Unboxing, all that is a visual representation of discovery. It's someone like opening a box and looking inside. You know, like, discovery is a beautiful thing. To see that raw reactions, that's a raw discovery. Like,
Yep.
I think the biggest thing is just that humility aspect of it. I can't tell you how many questions, man, I've had in the comments. People ask me stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Someone asked me about like ray tracing on a specific model that was like a specific serial number. I'm like, two things.
Oh, God, they got
Why?
the serial number involved.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this batch. I heard that this batch had this, this, and this. I'm like, what does it matter, dude?
Why are we gonna know that? Like, how are we to know that? Like, let me hack into the Xbox or Sony database and get this information for you.
Well, dude, you know people do that, right? An update comes out, and they go into the dev notes of an update. That's how they find leaks. That's how they find all these things.
Because there's like little hidden bits of code and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm like, so they ask me like, oh, I make a mistake in something I say, and they're like, well, the dev notes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I read the dev notes. A 32-year-old dad who plays video games read dev notes.
And dev notes don't matter quite as much as they used to. Like if you think of like back to I think Nintendo DS like had the Pokemon like DLC back when like you could buy a Pokemon code. Like people found out how to hack into their game and find out which Pokemon were going to be released.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Future. Yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
that's how like Game Shark, if you remember the Game Shark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like how you could hack in and like go to this hidden part of the map that wasn't even open yet until you got that like digital code to unlock it.
Yeah.
Like, but it was in that cartridge. It was locked in there. So like
Yeah.
this was it's different when you're updating everything. So you update it the day before. By the time people read the dev notes, it's already up and who cares?
Well, it's like how people are speculating about different things with the new Switch. Like, oh, yeah, it has 4K capabilities because this and this and this. We see in the dev notes. And I'm just like, I don't cut. So on the channel, you know this, we talk about stuff all the time. So this is no news to you. But like, we don't cover rumors. We don't cover any sort of leaks because it's so, I don't know. It's just not, it's not worth it to me. I'd rather get excited about what we know and get excited about what we have and build around that than like speculate because who cares?
I'm recognizing that in the camera gear space too. So many people obsess over rumors, the camera gear, like what's next. But like cameras have gotten to such an amazing point for their price point and stuff, and gear is just so good that like the next latest and greatest doesn't matter. Like Sony sent us the new Sony A7 IV like a couple weeks before they announced it, and I was just thinking like this is a great camera, but I don't need to buy a new camera. And like the people anticipating what's coming next and like figuring that out like early, it doesn't matter so much. Like, it's like enjoy the games and if you need to upgrade your console to like the new Switch OLED because you want a better outdoor experience or something like that, like then there's a need for it. I know I've considered. So when I'm at the Disney parks and I'm filming the content, I'd love to be able to play the Switch. I've considered the OLED because there's a need there, but my Switch is just so good. It plays the same games.
Well, and so honestly, and it's going to be easier to find. I know you're seeing a lot of crazy scalp prices, but I'm getting people. You're southeast, being in Florida, but I know people that are up northeast, and they're like, one dude, I don't know where he lives, but he's like, oh, I drove over to Rhode Island and like a Walmart is fully stocked, and like. It was like an hour. It was like an hour and a half drive for him. He's like, yeah, it was whatever. It was like the equivalent.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said northwest, so I was like thinking Seattle, and I'm like,
no, northeast.
That's a drive. I didn't hear that right.
No, yeah. So he's like, yeah, I just drove over to Rhode Island. There's a bunch that
3,000 miles, no big deal.
Yeah. I honestly don't see the right now we're seeing a little bit of a scalp thing just because people are jackwagons, but like I don't think we're going to really see this be an issue super long, mainly because like if you remember, I don't know if you saw a bunch of polls on it, but like everyone's like, are you getting the new OLED? Like 80% of the people are like, I don't need it.
So I saw that.
I think a lot of people are going to sleep on this anyway. It's a great system. I've made a bunch of videos. I'm making more. But for the average individual like yourself who has a Switch, like you're fine. You're not getting anything new except for display, a little bit more real estate.
You also know my history with video games too, which is like I don't need to spend more money in it because I mean, we could talk about a little bit video game addiction and just
dude, I want to.
Struggles I've had with that. Yeah, like honestly, the idea of spending more money on video games, like, you know my history with it. I can share it out if people...
Share it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I have a long history with video games. I have a pretty addictive personality. Video games were kind of my escape with my childhood. And you know a bit about that. I'm not going to get too into that. But video games...
You keep that to your...
Yeah. Video games have always had a special place in my heart. So that was my form of escapism. And... honestly, I managed video games really well up until recently, and I think it has to do with like the MMOs that I was playing and the competitive nature of the games that I was getting, where you almost they are very smart at marketing this fear of missing out, that FOMO. Yeah, like you need to log in and do your daily quest. You need to log in and do this, otherwise you're gonna miss these opportunities. or the competitive matchmaking of like an Overwatch or Call of Duty, where you do these quick like 10, 15-minute rounds, and like maybe you lose and you're like, no, I'm going to be stubborn like a gambling addict and I'm going to try again till I win. Or you win and you get that high, that temporary high, and you're like, okay, I can do one more. And then before you know it, like 4 hours of your day is gone. Especially
and
if
there's
you
that
work
grind
for
too.
yourself.
Because it's a rank grind. So like you're trying to rank up and rank up and rank up.
Exactly.
And then you lose a match, you drop rank a little bit. You're like, I got to make this I can't stop until I at least break 0. You break 0 and you're like, well, I can maybe get a little bit more.
Yeah, they're very smart at marketing it this way.
Yeah.
And, I thought maybe I could try and do streaming like you and play the video games and make a living off of it. And I got a PS5 and I thought I'd do all this, but I ended up just wasting away and stopped pursuing my other passions. Like I stopped traveling. I would have missed out on that opportunity to go film the Grizzlies in Alaska if I hadn't like gotten it under control. So like recognizing that for myself, that like, hey, I can't play these types of games, was a huge thing for me.
Yeah. And it takes an incredible amount of self-awareness as well as, humility to be like, I just can't. I can try, but I can't. And then I remember I was like, hey, you should try playing. And you ended up getting like just a normal Xbox. And like, okay, I'll play a little bit. And then every time I'd call you, you're like, I'm playing Warzone. I'm playing Warzone. I'm playing Warzone. And I was like, dude, you've had this thing for like 2 weeks. You can't even get on a phone call with me without playing Warzone. And you're like, yeah, I have to sell it. And you got rid of it. But you have the Switch because you have a healthy relationship with that at least.
Yeah, it's not like I get really competitive. Like, my team in high school was part of that first like Halo 3 big tournament. Yeah. And then I ended up getting left home because my mom's like, you can't make a living off video games. Ha, joke's on you. But they ended up winning $50,000. And like, I remember that very vividly. Like I'm super competitive when it comes to stuff like that, and it's easy for me to fall into that trap of like trying to climb the ladder and stuff like that. So I say that I can get it under control, and I try, and I'm like, oh, I'll only play this amount, but I just keep getting that like one more.
Yeah. And dude, it's great though that there's still like an element of it that you can hold on to because it's safe, right? So like you and I have played, Mario Kart before. You're in my Mario Kart video. I didn't even mention that. You're the guy who's in the Mario Kart video, which I'll link.
And that one is like a more fun competitive game. Like
there's
you don't
there's
unlock
no rank.
specialties, and there's no rank. It's just pick up and have fun. Like Switch games are great for that. And I think if like you love video games but you recognize you have a problem, finding games that like are social, like more direct people like me and my wife play Mario Kart. We're gonna, for the new Mario Party, we're gonna have like a party at the house and play Mario Party.
Are you gonna jump into our Mario Party?
Dude, I definitely will.
Okay,
it's gonna be.
You're in Florida,
make time
so
for it.
Yeah, you're in Florida, so it's gonna be later.
That's the struggle.
Yeah, it's one of our channel members' birthdays that day. So we're gonna throw him a birthday party.
Gonna be awesome.
And play Mario Party. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream it or not, but I know that a few people on the Discord are gonna be jumping in. So. You're more than welcome.
I would love to be a part of that. And
if
at the end of this, we'll figure it out. Yeah, that's the only problem. It's why I miss a lot of your streams. Is it's like that 3-hour time difference. It kills me because I wake up at 4 a.m. and stuff too. Yeah, so it gets a little rough. But I love the Switch. I love the fact that I can pick it up and play. There's a social aspect where people gather in person for it, and I just recognize that. Me playing video games was taking away from all my other passions. I was feeling crappy at the end of the day. I was hiding it from my wife, how much I was actually playing, because I work for myself. Yeah, I work for myself. So, like, there's a lot of self-discipline involved in that. Back when I worked at Apple, I don't remember it being as big a problem because they controlled my hours. They picked my hours. So it was just, I knew when I had to go. But I have to wake up, respond to emails. I have to do marketing. I have to do some research. And then I have to also go out and try and make content for these channels. Yeah. So it's, there's a lot there. And, if you can just turn on a video game and get hooked into like a 4-hour session without even realizing it, that's not good if you own your own business.
And it's also not good if you don't have the ability to gauge that. I know for me, like I I'm one of the fortunate few who, I joke about it. I can't get addicted to video games. Like when WoW came out, I remember when I played vanilla all the way for like probably all the way through Burning Crusade, which I think was like 5 years. I think the longest gaming session I did was an overnight, but it was because I brought my iMac, my G5, the flat
that
back.
old iMac.
Yeah, I brought the iMac to my buddy's house, and we had a LAN party, straight up LAN party, and
Nice.
we did LAN parties. I can't play video games by myself for a long time. I think the only game when Warzone first came out, I got really into it, and I would play for a couple hours, here and there though. And now the longest times I play in one sitting is a stream. I just don't have the ability. Also with a kid, I can't. Like
See,
I solo
I
dad.
wish I was like that.
during the day, a few days a week because my wife's at work, so I'm solo dadding, and so like I don't get the ability to do that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, I totally think that. Did it die? No, you're still on. There's still lights.
Yeah, I was just double checking. I like how you caught that though.
Yeah, dude, I can't. You can't. Nothing slides by me, baby. Hold on. We gotta do this thing. I do this every single time. Once we get to the 25, 26 mark, I don't externally record, so I have 29.59 seconds.
I have to start too. So you ready? Let's
go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead.
We'll be back in 3, 2, 1.
2, 1. We're back, baby. Okay, cool. We did it. We both did it.
It's that minimalist like filmmaker life. Like
it's terrible.
I downsize
I want to figure
so
out
much, so that record limit really sucks.
The record limit, but the record limit, for those of you who don't know, because this is not something that most of you would know, on most cameras, especially Canon, specifically Canon, all of their Canon cameras except for the new R3, which doesn't matter. It's not something you guys need to know. But on most cameras, they record 29 minutes and 59 seconds because it still is qualified. If it passes 30, it's qualified as a camcorder. And then the taxes
this law
increase.
No longer applies, though. This law is no longer in effect as of 3 years ago. But
but they haven't changed it.
Yeah, so we're seeing it with cameras nowadays. But, this isn't a camera channel.
Yeah, I hope that they just push a firmware update that clears it.
That's what I hope too. I mean, who knows? But I love this camera. I think it's fantastic. So it's
one I use.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a small portable camera.
Great,
good quality.
Yeah, it's what makes everything look so good. It's why as a gaming channel, subtle flex. As a gaming channel, actually, you know what? Let's do this right now. As a gaming channel, the reason why my quality of my stuff looks so good and doesn't look like a lot of other gaming channels is actually because of this guy right here. He's the one who he sensei'd me into it. He's the one who said, okay, you need to get this camera. I'm going to send you this LUT pack. And LUT pack, I'm not going to go into detail. I'm going to send you this color. I'm going to send you this, this, and this. Use it this, set up this, do this, this, and this. And this is where we're at. And so, he was my director of photography on this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
a lot actually. So
that's the reason. Most of the reason why actually all the equipment I have is your recommendation. This camera body was your recommendation. This lens was your recommendation, although it's everyone's recommendation. And
I'm trying to get you to upgrade to just the slightly more updated model of it. But you're doing so good with the gear that you have that it becomes questionable.
Yeah, dude. And I'm now trying to get you to get into microphones.
Oh my God. I know we use XLR on set and stuff, but usually we're hiring a sound guy. So the commercials that we do and the feature film we got coming up, we have a sound guy. So I've never had to worry about sound. I don't care to worry about sound, but that's 50% of video. If you have bad sound, you can't even watch it.
And on YouTube, I would go as far to say is that sound is 75% now, with people having phones that allow them to listen to it without out watching it.
People, I find that long form content like podcasts and stuff are doing great because people don't want to be fully engaged in video. Yeah. And to my detriment because that's my livelihood.
Yeah. When it comes to sound, dude, I got so many weird comments when I went back to handheld, holding the mic. But you know what? Screw it. I love it. It's funny. It's weird.
I mean, it looks better than this, though. It looks better. It sounds slightly better. So it's worth it down the road.
Yeah, dude, totally. Well, so back to the video game stuff, dude.
Yeah.
You currently are playing on Nintendo Switch. You do not have so you're a solo Switch. That's what you do.
Yep. I solo Switch, and if I could get a PS5 and just play the Spider-Man games and stuff like that, like I loved Spider-Man 4. Oh my god, especially on the PS5 remastered.
Yeah.
Whoo! That's a good game for me because I can pick up and go. I'm following a story. I don't get too sucked into it. If I could just
can you
disconnect my PS5 from Wi-Fi?
Can you own that system without downloading Warzone?
The problem is if I do it if I'm having a rough day or something like that, and I download it and I start playing, the dopamine kick that I get from it just it creates this feedback loop, and then it ends up becoming a problem.
Yeah, I want you to get a PlayStation 5 so bad.
I want a PS5 again too. Trust me, there's so many games I want to play that I won't get the chance to, and honestly I'm better off without it. If I think about high school, I had a problem in high school too with a game called Maple Story, which is the dumbest looking game, dude. I don't know if you want to put an icon of what these little freaking characters look like from the original Maple Story. It's if you remember Guy Online.
No.
With the little amiibos. Oh my god. So this game was just this
while you're talking,
cartoony game.
I'm going to look it up, so keep talking.
So Maple Story, the stupid-looking cartoon game, but it was my first...
Like Maple Leaf?
Yeah, like Maple Leaf, Maple Story. And my friends got me playing it, and that was the first experience I had where, it was a leveling system, and you had to grind to get it, and there was, this respect amongst my peers for having, a high-level character and stuff like that I ended up just ditching school to play this game and staying up all night and sleeping in past classes to play this game so I could get that.
I'm looking at it prestige. Right now, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for you.
It's an embarrassing looking game, but they had all the mechanics of an addictive kind of RPG. The leveling system was a super hard grind. The item system in place was just it was all about getting that damage number up so that you could flex on other people. And I think this kind of weird trauma happened to me when I was playing that game where somebody came in and just decided, I'm gonna fuck with you and I'm going to just start killing everything so you can't level up. And he followed me around every time I logged on, he was there. And I had to make a new character. I don't know who this guy was. I don't know what happened, but you could type in and track the character and find where they were, and you could teleport to characters if you had their name. So this dude obsessed and spent hours just trying to make me hate the game. And after that, I said, you know what? I am going to be strong enough so nobody could do that to me again.
Oh my gosh. So it got you. It got you.
Yeah, it got me.
Dang.
And I swear that led to me just obsessing and grinding up. And that was kind of the start of I can enjoy the game once I'm at this level, or I can enjoy the game once I have this gear. And we all do that in every aspect of our life. And trying to do that, I know content creators who are if I had JD's camera, if I had his microphone, then I could be a good podcaster. And that mindset of I will travel once I do this. I remember.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I remember when I became a personal trainer, I was I will travel once I have a six-pack because I need to look good for some stupid vanity reason to travel. And I got there and I got all in shape, and I didn't feel any better. I didn't have travel under my belt. Yeah, I'm okay, I didn't do anything. And the same thing happened with video games.
There's so much wisdom in that statement. The idea of I will once and you'll never get anywhere. You'll never get anywhere. I remember when I first started doing this seriously in February, I was at 70 subscribers and I was like, okay, cool. I cannot, like, I got to 100 and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the most magnificent feeling in the world. I like can't believe it. And then I got to 1,000. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like I cried. When I got to 1,000, I cried. Like
Yeah,
it was
you called me.
emotional. Dude, I was so emotional. It was so amazing. And now I have days, like nothing's enough. I have days, and this is the grind of being a creator and being one who, you know, has found a little bit of success. Like I have days where I'll be like, okay, normally I get 100 to 150 subscribers in a day. I'll get like 70 and I'll be like, today's the worst day of my life. Or a day I'll get like 30, I'll get 35 subscribers in a day and I'll be like, this is the absolute worst feeling I've ever had. I just want to quit. This is the worst.
I'm experiencing that right now with my new Disney channel. You know, I started that like a month ago, and like instantly overnight it got 150 subs, and like my watch hours are already at like 500. And I'm like, oh my God, it took forever for my main channel to get here. I was like freaking out. And then I like took a 10-day break and then it just stopped. Like,
dude.
It stopped, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? I've ruined it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like posting back there again. But like,
you're fine.
Everything in life has the ups and the downs, and it's just about leaning into it, enjoying it. Like,
and the downs are so important. There's so much wisdom and so much clarity that comes in that moment of, you know, of change and transition. Like when I have those days, or, you know, for me it was like a month, my channel took a pretty heavy hit because I changed some stuff and like that. But it sprouted this, I don't care, because like I was doing a lot of content that was working, and I'm like, this hits. I'm gonna make this video because I know it'll get views. I'm gonna do this. And then I started, no matter what I did, it was failing. And I was like, this is awful. I hate this. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And, you know, the beginning of October, I'm like, I'm doing Vlogtober. I'm making whatever videos I want. Some of them are going to be video games. Some of them are going to be whatever. And ever since that moment, I'm like, oh, that was the problem I had. I stopped being myself. And then, you know, I got back to like, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want. And it did a few things. It made me, it took the pressure off of making videos that work. And it gave me the freedom to make videos that I care about. When, here's the kick on YouTube, people want to see what you care about.
Hey,
and it works because you care about it.
But the
if you don't care
algorithm
about it,
rewards the same thing.
Yeah. So like,
it's this balancing act of making sure that you make something you care about because your audience can tell, but also appeasing the YouTube algorithm god.
Exactly. And understanding, and it's a dance, and it's crazy, and, you know, and there's things you just know, you know, in my world right now, if I put out a video, I just know, if I put out a video about the Xbox Series S, I can get views. It's going to happen every time.
Yep.
But, you know, I had lost my excitement. I became bitter towards it. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it because I'm passionate about other things, but no one's watching it. And what happened was this like crazy twisted thing where the internet, people's interest, and this idea of being on YouTube robbed me from the joy that I originally started with, which was I just want to play video games with people.
I remember how many times we were having these conversations, and I kept telling you I didn't want to be pigeonholed, and I knew that the key to growing a quick channel would be what I've deemed gear porn videos, where people are just wanting this like next greatest thing, and you're feeding on people's FOMO of like, I can only create when I have this. Like, and just that I was contributing to that so much, and I was falling into that trap that I stopped doing my travel and stuff like that. The pressure from travel almost made me just not do it anymore. You know what happened with Alaska and just that nightmare? Like, and through our conversations, you know, just bouncing off each other and supporting each other, like I found my roots. I'm getting back to what's important, and it's not the views, it's not the subscribers, it's the content. It's making sure that you care about it and that you're relatively consistent, right? Because you are a gaming
there's
channel.
An element. Yeah, there's elements of this that's a job, right? Like no job is going to be successful unless you stay consistent. You know, but it's also getting that definition of like what is the most important things, and, you know, looking
what
into
is the foundation,
and what is making the difference, and right, and like, so those of you guys listening or watching right now, you get a little peek behind the curtain here, a little behind the scenes in like when it comes to YouTube, When it comes to creation of videos, we're a gaming channel, and I say we because I'm nothing without you guys. We're a gaming channel, and we talk about video games. Specifically, we talk about console gaming because I feel like that is something I'm more passionate about, and I don't have a gaming PC, so I'd be lying to you if I told you about gaming on a PC. But we are niched as a gaming channel, and so I can be lumped in with a bunch of other gaming channels. I'll name a few. They're bigger than me, but RGT, I think, RGT 85, Spawnwave. Those are news channels. There's Switchforce, a news channel. There is Kevin Kenson, a gear channel and news from time to time. There's Wolf Den. There's Beat 'em Ups. All these guys are news gaming channels. And so I have to, as a creator, just as, Cody's a creator, I have to look at channels that are in my niche because I'm in it. And I have to say, okay, what can I bring to the table that either they bring, but I can bring a little extra salt, or a little extra pepper to it, or they're not bringing this to the table and some people might want it. And I realized very, very quickly that in the gaming niche world, there's a lot of reviews, there's a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of can't believe this is happening, and oh my gosh, they did this is. But there isn't a lot of talk about, hey,
it's because
you play video games.
I was going to say it's because of that feedback loop. They're getting the algorithm is rewarding what has given them success in the past, and trying to break away from that is very, very hard and
dangerous and
it
scary.
Is. I mean, that's why I had to make a completely new channel for the Disney content.
Yeah,
I have a Disney wedding that I have to film in about an hour I have to leave for, and I love that side of like my life, the Disney filming stuff, and Disney is a big part of just my life now, so getting to create content on that is so much fun, but I can't post that on Explore Travel Capture. Like I can't, that is about going out and seeing the world and inspiring people to document their own adventures and to have that for themselves. That isn't, hey, let's go to Disney and show you what Disney's doing. Like, that just wouldn't translate. Like, why would I be posting that there? So making sure that you keep stuff consistent to a degree and finding what it is that is the core value of your content is so important, and just locking that down
it's
in
huge.
early.
Because there's so many different aspects that when I first started, I did vlogs for about a year.
Yep.
I had 100 videos by the time. They're all unlisted now. They still exist. Watched one on the stream the other day. It was a lot of fun. But I did nothing consistent. The consistency I had was I made really weird videos.
I want to be Casey Neistat.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be Peter McKinnon. I want to be Maddie Hapoya. And what I learned was that the consistency, and we're seeing it, right? I cannot thank people enough for being a part of this, and I totally understand that my success this year is unnatural. Like, not unnatural, but like it's pretty fast.
You worked hard for it, so like the community is super important. But like, you guys don't know how many conversations we had. I think every day we spent like an hour just going back and forth. What video you're gonna make, like, and just keeping you on track, because that burnout was real. Like,
dude,
you were doing 5 videos a week. Like, it was just insanity, the level that you were going. And I'm like, hey, you're not going to be able to keep this up if you don't like make sure that you keep your passion on that. And you hit that wall, but you kept through it and stuff. And I know you challenged me in my own like identity crisis on what my channel was. And it's why my successful channel that was making me money is now making me no money, because I pivoted. And it's okay to pivot once you understand what it is that you want to do. But I turned that channel into a gear channel. It turned into me needing to get the latest and greatest, kissing up to these companies like Sony to send me the gear so that I could do a review for them, and just perpetuate this thing that was hindering creativity.
And dude, and that's the biggest thing that happened to me, is I realized that like, oh, I'm only, I'm not gonna lie, I have a PlayStation 5 because I knew that if I had one, people would take me seriously, and I was wrong. Like, I'm not gonna sell it because it's impossible to find, but like realistically, I think it's almost no use. I purchased it because I'm like, I'm gonna get a PS5. Everyone wants to see a guy with a PS5.
So payment for me being guest on this, send me that PS5. My wife will probably kill you, but You know, just
No way, man.
give her that
Destiny
butternut
2 looks
squash
really
recipe.
good on it. Oh yeah, that butternut squash. I'll have to send that over. But no, the original point I was gonna make was that like this channel, the one thing that I'm bringing to the table that I think is different than these other video game channels is they don't focus on community. They're not trying to build that community. And for me, I know that if you know, I'm trying to talk to, and I mentioned in one of my videos, I'm talking to the 18-year-old me. I'm talking to the 21-year-old me that like had no one to go to because I was this gamer, this adult gamer who was like, the community is not, you know, I almost felt like I had to hide it. And so like I'm like this is where it's at, and we're noticing more and more as life goes on, and again in light of, you know, the whole world shifting a little bit, like there's a lot of loneliness and there's a lot of isolation.
Yep.
And there's a lot of these issues with, you know, addiction, whether it's video games or other things.
Social media, for example, isolates
social media,
you. It's social, but it's not. Like the
there's nothing
communities
social
there
about
are
social
just
media.
toxic, and it's like we're seeing everything coming out now that's just so negative about it, which is like hurting communities like what you're trying to build on YouTube, because you're now getting associated with it because you're on a social media platform.
And that's the thing. It's so challenging for me to get into comments. I hate it. I have to do it because the comments really, you know, and this is, you know, a dangerous thing to say online because some people will exploit it and some people won't. But like the comments get to me.
They do.
And it's not because people are mean to me. It's that people are mean to each other. And so like reading something like
people are mean to me. People are definitely mean to me.
People yeah, people say mean things to me, but I don't. So I'll rephrase that. When someone calls me like I don't cuss on this, but like when people scream or yell at me and curse me out online, first off, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I made a video about an Xbox and you just told me to F off. Like we got to really, like something's going on here. Like someone really pooped in your coffee this morning. But like when people go crazy, like my most successful video is a YouTube short. It has like 3.5 million views. It's crazy. And the comments keep just going and going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments are all the same. They're all like, oh, this, you know, the question was, is this controller worth $180? And they're like, no, because the right bumper fails. Oh, if you want trash. Oh, this is garbage. And it's just that on cycle over and over again, further feeding into this idea of, this is what I'm trying to break, and we're talking about it in our Discord. We call it the love gauntlet. We've redefined the whole Thanos gauntlet, and what we are trying to do is get big enough that we can infiltrate hate streams and infiltrate this narrative. This like, I hate this. I'm selfish. I only care about what a company's giving me.
We're gonna have to pause for a second. You can keep talking. You're just gonna have audio of me right now because my camera just overheated.
Okay. So at any rate, so the issue that we're having is this extreme problem with selfishness and with issues with just like, this is mine. You're a company that has to give me all of this stuff, and if you're not delivering, if you're not, you know, giving me what I think I deserve, I'm gonna yell, scream, cuss, and fight about it. And the thing that I'm trying to combat with my whole community is I'm going, hey, we're going to band together and we're going to change that narrative. Like that's what this community is here to do. We're not selfish. We're not here to complain. We're not here to attack other people. And so I've gone through so many iterations in my head, but the visual I see are Ronins. So a Ronin being a samurai warrior who has no master, no longer affiliated with an emperor or a noble, but is out there doing work, doing good work, doing bad work, whatever, you know, but doing work. And in our stance as, you know, gaming Ronins, we're here to protect. We're here to infiltrate and to completely change the narrative around gaming, because gaming is toxic, and it's a huge task, but we're gonna do it.
You know that goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the podcast. Think different.
Think different, dude.
Also, let's get a 3, 2, 1 snap in, so that way you can resync this audio. 3, 2, 1.
Snap, baby. My little kid, my little wonderful baby girl's waking up, so we're gonna have to shut this down soon.
Oh, it's all good. I'm gonna have to leave for this wedding in a second. But I just love what you're trying to do, and I deal with something similar. Like, we love our Canon cameras, right? But like we were saying,
darn right, dude.
At some point in this video, like, Canon works for us, but if Sony works for you, who cares? Like, cameras are just so good nowadays that like making
It
sure
doesn't
that
matter.
it can do the job you want it to do is what's more important. And that's why I hated the camera gear community, and why I've just gotten out of it is I don't feel
It's
like
so gross.
yeah, like I can't change it because it's a lot of people who are insecure because the camera companies want you to be insecure about your gear, so you buy the latest and greatest that people aren't worried about creating. And when they see a gear review that insults something that they purchased, they take it very personally. They're like,
Dude.
hey, I bought this. I spent my hard-earned money on this. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you? And I get that. Like, you're feeling like it's a personal attack because you're insecure about what you're creating. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we all deal with insecurities, all creators, big and small. Like,
Dude,
I
deal with insecurities.
Yeah, I have friends who have 3 million subs on YouTube channels. I have one who has 10 million, and she still deals with insecurities all the time when it comes to posting. Like, and she's super successful. Like, that's the thing is, big and small, we all deal with the insecurities. So
Yep.
the gear isn't going to help you, and camera companies want you to believe that.
Yeah, and I feel that narrative
Yeah.
in gaming too is like people,
You see it with like
Xbox,
no complete games nowadays. It's filled with microtransactions, updatable content. Like Fortnite, even though it's like a fun game in Warzone, these free games, they are constantly being updated and stuff like that to trigger.
I'd say Warzone has a little bit more of that like FOMO because you have to grind for updates, and there is meta that exists.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to stay up to date with it.
Fortnite for me, I think, is when it comes to a battle royale system that has transactions, I would consider Fortnite to be the perfect game because all the transactions through and through are cosmetic.
Yeah, the Call of Duty ones are not. Like, that is super
There's a meta
frustrating.
that exists. There is absolutely a meta that exists, and if you haven't done the grind to get there, you're gonna have an issue. But yeah, no, this idea of FOMO, or not just FOMO, but like insecurities is huge. And the narrative of Xbox is trash, PlayStation's trash, Nintendo sucks because they're so behind, their tech is so behind.
I hear that as an Apple person too. Like,
Dude, Apple sucks.
and then
because
think of everybody who's
limit.
jumping ship right now to the new chips for the new
I know.
Macs. So many people are jumping
For me,
ships. Like,
I even said like I want to experience the other options. I tried Windows for a while.
Yep.
I think it's great. I've done Android for a while. I
find
think
what
they're great.
works for you.
And that's what it is. It's what works for you. And it comes down to gaming, because to kind of land the plane here, like gaming for me, the reason why I chose console was I don't have a gaming PC, so practically it was the easiest thing for me.
It's affordable. It plays great.
And console gaming for the casual gamer is kind of the tagline. But the big thing I'm realizing more and more, my buddy who's a YouTube genius, he said, dude, I don't know how you did it, but you somehow figured out how to find a niche that wasn't being tapped. Like, you figured something out new. Like, you're in the right spot. It hasn't taken off yet. You're in the right spot. I'm like, cool, this is exciting. But what I realized was that I was able to tap into an idea, which is the unaffiliated gamer, the gamer who's like, I just want to play a game with some friends. That's all that matters, and that's the narrative.
That
Remember
is
when you
not important anymore.
You used to go over to a buddy's house and just pick up the controller, and you
oh
guys
my
sat on the
God.
couch and played
and you'd
games
have
together?
like sleepovers with like multi-console setups that you'd like, hey, bring over your Xbox so we could like all play together, like get 8 players, 2 TVs going, like,
dude. It was great. And you did that with Halo. And then earlier before that, what'd you do? You played GoldenEye with your buddies on Nintendo 64. And you didn't say Nintendo sucks.
Amazing.
You said, oh, this game's great.
Exactly.
You play Halo. This game's great. You get on, you're like, man, this crazy story. I'm playing it on PlayStation. This crazy, insane story. This is Kingdom Hearts.
It's about
drops.
good
You're
times
like,
with
dude,
friends.
this is wild. Exactly, right?
One
you play
of
Halo
the
on
best
Xbox.
games me and Chelsea just bought, I'm sorry to interrupt, is literally
go
the
for it.
51 mini games for Nintendo Switch. Where they have
that
like
game's dope.
Moncala, they have air hockey.
Yep.
Chelsea has never had so much fun playing video games. She
That
beat
game's
Mario
so good,
Odyssey.
dude.
She's new to gaming, but
Yeah.
we got so much joy out of this $40 game, and it's a bunch of mini games, and that's it. And it's about the joy. Like, we
Because
took
it's the
that on our
game
flight.
and the
Exactly.
community.
Yep,
That's
it's
it.
the
That's
company. We got to play together.
Yep, that's exactly it, dude. It's not the company, it's the company. I love that.
Ooh,
dude.
TM.
Ooh.
TM now.
Yeah. It's not the company, it's the company. Oh my gosh, you just did
This is trademarked.
I'm using it.
I said TM
you
though.
just
I said TM. So
whatever, dude.
give
I
me a
say
license
HM.
fee.
I say HM, dude. What are you, some sort of? I say HM. In the Pokemon world, HMs are more important than TMs.
Ooh,
Got
HMs
'em.
are just reusable. Dang.
Got him.
Got me. Okay.
Got him. All right, give us the plug. Give us the plug so that they know where they can find you. Even though I'm gonna have you linked all up like crazy underneath.
Oh, this guy's amazing. So we have Explore Travel Capture, which has been pivoted from a gear channel to just an adventure channel between me and my friends, where we just share our travels with each other. Yeah, exactly. Where I'm going to try and encourage everybody to take one trip a month, even if it's an overnight, film as much as they can while still enjoying it, and then either do a narrative piece or just ambient audio and just take me there and take anybody who wants to tag along there. And that's called Explore Travel Capture. And we have Disney Adventures, which is my take on just Disney YouTube videos, because I find that the big creators using their phone just aren't doing a good enough job. So we're trying to set this new standard of cinematic quality. I'm taking all of my big camera gear. I'm doing multi-angle videos. I'm doing as many trips as it takes to create these super high quality videos with gimbals and everything. So that is my goal with Disney Adventures, and just taking you to the park in such a amazing cinematic way.
Sick, dude. Well, that's my buddy Cody. He's in our Discord.
My dogs decided they wanted to be in this too. I think I hear them barking.
If you guys want to be a part of the greatest, most positive, mindful gaming community out there, two things. You can hit subscribe. What subscribe does is helps get more people's eyes on this channel and give them an opportunity to be a part of a really awesome thing. It's free. And you can also join our Discord. The Discord is, as of now, there's no barrier of entry. I am going to start putting a landing page with some additional things, just because as we grow, I want to make sure that the place stays healthy. And so I want to make sure that the people getting in are also people who are there to promote community and not there to take away from it. So if you're listening to this much later down the line, our Discord page might have a couple extra things you have to do to get in, but at no way at any time will our Discord ever cost money. There are elements of the Discord that exist, special rooms that do exist in there that are part of the Patreon. If you're part of the Patreon thing, we have Player 2 and Player 1. Those get you things into. You'll be able to get into a couple special rooms in there that we just, a little bit more intimate conversations, a little more intimate, and also you get discounts on merchandising, which you see me wearing. I got my Play hoodie, and then my buddy's wearing his custom Play hoodie that he changed himself. And so that's all that stuff. I think that's it, man. I think that's it. If you wanna hit them with the happy gaming, I'll say the first part of it, which is as simple as this: keep playing and
keep button mashing.
Oh my gosh, dude, this guy! It's happy gaming, you jerk!
Oh,
never finished one of my videos. This guy's ruining my watch
gaming
time.
Happy.
Okay,
gaming happy.
He's not allowed to play video games, actually, not because of a pre-existing, extremely self-aware gaming addiction. He has severe dyslexia, and he ends up getting himself into trouble. So that's the problem. He's electrocuted himself so many times because he doesn't know where to plug in the game itself. All right, I'll shut this down because obviously he's not able to. Keep playing, guys.
Okay.
And see, he can't.
Happy gaming. I got it. I thought this was the end. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
But don't hang up, because we still need to figure out how we're gonna get this footage to you.
Okay, bye.